welcome to the channel again. Today I wanted to go live and talk about Garth Brooks because I came across a podcast that was done about 2 weeks ago, and they were saying that the guy that was on the show wrote a book about Garth Brooks, something about bodies in low places or friends in low places, which is the name of Garth Brooks his bar, I think, in Tennessee. Well, this man compiled a lot of evidence in interviews in his book that go into the theories of Garth Brooks being a potential serial unaliver. And I did hear this like briefly in passing a few years ago, around the time I heard that Marvin Gaye was also one. And So yeah, I watched or I listened to the 2 hour podcast today, and there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, there's no doubt. And I'm gonna link the podcast below when the video is done processing, and you guys can see for yourself if you've got the 2 hours. But the way that it's broken down, they talk about how everywhere he's gone, there's been a number of like unsolved deaths, like wherever he goes. And even when he was on tour, there were people that disappeared, that that were suspicious. That different scenarios like that. When he was in college, there was like a couple of deaths. Um, so all of these like things have followed him, and it's really interesting. So I decided to pull some cards, and this is my true crime deck. My other decks I don't have with me. So, and of course I'm at work again, so the camera's down for the privacy of others that are around me, their license plates and stuff. So, all right. So let's get into these cards. So I used both true crime decks, and first card I got was random persons. Like they're just random people from all walks of life, all backgrounds and racial demographics are disappearing or coming up dead or what have you, as they've discussed on this podcast as the facts, right? Through their research. Now the guy was put onto this theory by somebody else who was also like a podcaster. I forgot his name. I'll have to go back and see, but you'll see if you watch it, if you peek at it. But the guy that wrote the book decided to write the book, I think, when he was like in prison or coming out of prison. Him and his other buddy. I don't know why they were in prison, but that doesn't matter. The research is stunning. Um, the next one was I was beaten badly. I cheated on my spouse, girlfriend, or boyfriend, and we know that this is true because this is why he got divorced to his first wife, who took half of his fortune. They said in a very quiet, quick, and amicable divorce. So the podcaster was saying, it makes me wonder what the wife knew because he gave her half of his fortune without a fight. You know, multiple people were involved, and I suspect this too. I feel like if he was harming people while he was on tour, that there had to be some other dynamic of people like helping him, because it's a lot of people that have gone missing or turned up. I was drugged before I was killed. This would be from the victim's perspective. I mean, there are just witnesses that saw young people talking to him and then they were gone, you know, then they were gone. When he was on tour, They said that there would be like stops, tour stops. And then, like, there was one witness that said that they saw like a real young girl talking to someone that fit his description at one of the tour stops. And after that, the girl disappeared. Her car was left there. And the witnesses described like Garth Brooks, like somebody meeting his description. So I mean, this stuff is really wild. Like I said, I'm gonna pin the podcast to the description bar. So definitely come back and check that out. Please watch it. Don't take it from me. Please watch it. Physically assaulted and beat up again. So people are being drugged and beat up. This was the kicker for me. The perpetrator has rural property that I was harmed at or am currently being held on. Garth has like 300 plus acre property estates in both Oklahoma and probably the same in Tennessee. They said the first thing he bought when he got money was large swaths of raw land, which he later developed. But that was the first thing he decided to buy when he got some money. The first thing when he was a struggling artist was he bought a whole bunch of land. And there are people who were like, I wonder how many bodies are on that land. Midwest, that's where he is. Tennessee, Oklahoma, the other card strangled again, beat up, strangled, drugged. Motive is money. So a lot of these people, like the sacrifice thing, people are doing this because they want to maintain, they're obviously praying to some God, or they're doing this in the name of a certain frequency, right? So they're doing this to gain riches, I guess. I don't understand the concept. I mean, cognitively I get it, but I don't know. It's just kind of wild to me how you could just like harm strangers and suddenly you're wealthy. Like that's just so weird to me. I have to dig into that a bit more. So yeah, this was just a quick card read for Garth Brooks. Again, I saw this 2-hour podcast where this man wrote a book discussing all these clues and all this like proof. Well, what he calls proof, including interviews with his roadies, the people that set up like the stage and all that stuff. He interviewed them. There were interviews with other people. Garth has been sued for essaying his hairdresser, him and his wife Trisha Yearbook. Is it Yearbrook? Yeah, Yearbrook. Something like Yearwood. The woman that did her hair and then Garth's hair, he essayed her after she turned down like a threesome. And and again, like the first wife that walked away with half of his fortune, over 100 million and change, like quick, quiet, and easy and amicable, like your whole half of your whole fortune for cheating. So again, the podcaster was like, I wonder what she knows about him. You know what I mean? Like he just handed it off to keep her quiet about whatever it is. But there are people that said that they saw him like before performances take off in a car and like go away, and then just it happened to come back on time right before the show started. And he was talking about how people were panicking, like, where's Garth? Where's Garth? Because he would take off. Like, he'd take somebody's car, borrow somebody's car, and then just bounce for like a couple hours and then come back, So very interesting. Again, I'm going to pin that in the description. Thank you guys for the request. Thank you, Libra, for your request. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like the video and subscribe if you like what you see and what you hear. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.